Everybody, welcome to another episode of Tackle and Tacos, a fishing podcast. This is exciting. Ever since our fiasco, moving homes, Lola and I and our kiddos, we haven't done a video podcast yet. And here we are. We're on video. So if you're listening, if you like to see two interesting looking men podcasting, one good looking fella and one not so good looking pale fella, you can jump over to the YouTubes, which is YouTube. Nate, what is our social? YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, what are we?
We are Tackle and Tacos on all of it. Tackle and Tacos, AND. That's it.
Real simple. Like I'm not like looking through my phone talking. I'm just bringing up something for tonight. So all right, tonight we're going to talk about, we started this podcast a while back, How to Win, and it's very much based on a book I read a long time ago called Fans by Ken Blanchard. I talked about this on How to Win Part 1, and then we did last week my little blurb where I caught just an absolute crap ton of fish and had a bag of like 21 plus, not in a tournament, just fun fishing, which again, all fishing is fun fishing. If it's not, what are you doing? And then now we're going to do How to Win Part 2. And quite for real, literally, a lot of why I did so well in that day on the water up north of Hayward, Wisconsin, was because I listened to the things that we talked about in How to Win, and How to Win Part 1, most specifically Adam Deacon and Justin Rowe. Justin Rowe is a Skeeter boat shop owner, absolute hammer, tournament winning fisherman basically every time he goes out. Adam Deacon, of course, is from Serious Angler Network, to do with the real like sexy deep voice like Nate, and but slightly. And he used to do business from the bass boat. Again, not trying to tell y'all how to do your business, but I wish you bring back business from the bass boat as a standalone. I really enjoyed that podcast. Anyway, and in that podcast, Deacon said like 30% of your day should be new spots. And so I spent the majority of my day fishing new spots and had the best time I've ever had on this lake that I've been fishing since I was a kid. And I came up with this little mantra: new spots, old styles. So fish styles I'm confident with, but in new spots, that combination is awesome. Because if you do new styles or new techniques of fishing in new spots and you don't catch them, I don't know if you weren't good at that technique or it was a bad new spot. So if you do techniques you're solid in, whatever that might be, in a new spot, you know what I mean? It's worked out so dope. And so tonight is How to Win Part 2, Part B, whatever you want to call it. And we got absolute banger advice from people. Again, this is all based on Ken Blanchard raving fans. He said none of us is as smart as all of us. And so I just reached out to a bunch of people that we've kind of made relationships with over the years of doing this podcast. Some of them are like local hammers and people that we respect, and some of them are Brandon Palaniuk and John Cox and Gussy and these like, you know, world famous fishermen, and basically, hey, give me one little spiel, one little line. How do you get better at fishing? And they just barfed, and it was awesome. So we're going to talk about that tonight. The sponsors for our show. Let me pull up this little ticker. So we'll throw that on there. I got the studio so new, like the way I got it set up. I just bonked my elbow on the daggone table. We got a little ticker rolling there on the bottom of the year turbs of the video stuff. Our sponsors for the show are Grizzly Coolers, best coolers on planet Earth, legitimately, like objectively, the best hunting blinds on planet Earth. Grizzlycoolers.com. Use the code W Whiskey Charlie Bravo WCB for 15% off. Up here in Wisconsin, speaking of hunting blinds, Nate, it's bow season, and
that's crazy.
The last few days high was like 84, 86 or whatever. Have you ever actually like hunted in weather this warm, Nate?
No, not at all. I have not. I've never hunted opening day ever.
Never?
I've always waited until it actually starts to cool off.
Yeah, exactly. You do, it's opening day, but like for what? Just to sit there and sweat?
Yeah. Yep. So I've never hunted this early.
I mean, you definitely never have down there unless you were poaching. But up here in Wisconsin, we open up a little earlier. But I was talking with a dude at work today. I work at a boat dealer place here in Chippewa Falls called Zacco's, and we get a lot of fishermen, of course, and so a lot of fishermen are hunters. And I was talking to this fella. We just fixed his boat all up. It was real cool. He's a not. I'll say this: he's not poor. Okay, we'll say that about him. The fella's not poor. And the boat we were fixing up was a poor man's 14-foot John boat, and it's just a boat that he beat the lights out of because he's going to Montana to elk hunt. And he's going to use this thing to navigate the rivers and stuff to hunt. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And what's the weather like out there? And he goes, way too hot. And I'm like, yeah. So same thing here. I'm thinking if you shoot a deer, you got to start processing it before it even hits the ground. It's it's going to be gross.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. You definitely have to get after it real early. Everything's going to be hot. Jeez.
That just doesn't sound like. I remember when you and I worked at Gander Mountain. You remember that back in 1970?
Yeah, a couple years back. Yeah,
a while ago, dude. That was a long time ago.
Sure.
And we had an old 7th grade elementary school, whatever, TV and VCR on a cart in our break room. And I was the one. I don't know if anybody ever pointed it out, but I was absolutely the one who would just go out to the floor and grab VHS tapes and open them and bring them back to watch on my break. I wasn't allowed to do that, but I did it anyway, Real Tree and whatever Drury videos, Primos, whatever. And I remember one time as I was illegally watching these VHS tapes, dudes were hunting season in either Texas or maybe even Louisiana. And they're wearing what we would usually wear for turkey season, really thin camo and thin apparel. And they're just sweating, face is just wet, and I'm like, that does not look fun to me. that looks awful. Just the thought of hot and hunting and then going over gut a deer, and depending on where you are, even start processing, quartering it up to get it out of there, and it's 90 degrees. That sounds like punishment. That's boy, you got caught stealing, now you got to go hunting in September in Louisiana. That just sounds awful. No diss to any of our who are in the South, but yuck, dude.
Yeah, no, for sure. I remember a couple of years back now, I think I hunted mid-October, and we had a heat wave come through, and it had just rained the night before or whatever. So I wore my rubber boots out to the stand, and by the time it got the sun got up, I was dripping sweat. I had my rubber boots rolled down to my ankles, trying to cool my legs off. I'm pretty sure I still have a picture of it, but just
yeah, that ain't fun.
Just miserable up there.
Yeah. And the thing, what's crazy about it too? And it's I don't know. Every year though, dudes take deer early.
Yeah.
It happens. It's not just it for me, at least when I used to live in Illinois and I would go ceremoniously hunting on opening day of archery. I never really had visions of grandeur. I'm going to shoot a buck. It was more well, it's opening day, I'm going to go hunt. And then I'd just be out there bleh, just miserable, and that scent-free deodorant don't work. And I don't know. It was not my jam. But anyway, if anybody is out there hunting in Scotty, we hope you're being successful. You're having fun, being safe. You better put a good shot on them though. You know what I'm saying? You better really whack them so that you can go recover that thing quick before it turns and gets smelly and gross and bleh. Anyway, our other sponsors are, of course, Giltech, maker of some of the best tackle out there, from Ned heads to the amazing tube marabou. I have this little box behind me on the wall, the little marabou tube jigs, to the dopest, in my opinion, the dopest swim jigs I've ever thrown. Nate has always been a big swim jig guy, way before I was, and he loves the Giltech swim jigs. Yes, Nate?
Absolutely. Yeah, they are go-to for sure.
Yeah. Everybody that we've kind of proselytized in the way of Giltech, yo, you got to try these. Let me give them some. Everybody who's fished us, these are legit. There's a lot of small companies out there making jigs, and these are really, really good. They're a league above and ahead of everybody else. Gilltek. You can only get those at Hook and Arrow Supply, which is Brian, the maker of Giltech. His Hook and Arrow Supply is his brick and mortar store up in Wapanaki. I can never ever remember the name of the little town in Wisconsin. Dope little town. So check him out. And then of course, Loophole Optics. On the wall behind me, I have a Loophole box, and inside I have another Loophole box, the little actual sunglasses box. Just spoke with our new rep from Loophole. So shout out that fella Colin Russell, super cool dude.
Wow.
Shout out. He was not responding to my text at first, and I thought I was annoying him. Turns out he was out in the middle of the field glassing for elk, and they got a big one. So super rad to work with people who actually like live and breathe and believe the stuff that we do, hunting, fishing, all of it.
Yeah.
Best sunglasses I've ever worn. I kid you not. I'm not just saying that. If tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? If tomorrow Loophole was like, we're not going to sponsor you anymore, I'd still wear their sunglasses. Like they're just actually that good. Polarization sandwiched in between the layers of the lenses. So I said lenses. So it won't like scratch off, won't wear off, won't burn out with the sun. They're just legit. They're the perfect combination of like, they feel substantial, but they're not heavy on your face. Super rad designs, tons of cool lens options. What's that new one that you ordered, Nate? Daylight Max, is that what it's called?
Daylight Max. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I'm excited to get those. What was that?
Tell the humans about the Daylight Max lens. It's pretty rad.
Yeah, so the Daylight Max lens is like a basically like a low light brightening lens. So it's almost like a yellowish kind of color, but it really amplifies the light. So early morning runs or kind of late evening, it's really going to draw in that light and really brighten your picture. So yeah, I'm stoked to get them.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about it. Every fisherman, and this is not just tournament guys. Every fisherman has there early in the morning, and whether you're rocking a little 15 horse hand tiller, running down the lake or whatever early in the morning, and you can't really see, but you don't want to like put on sunglasses because you know what I'm saying, make it too dark, but at the same time though the wind's hitting the eyes, like even on a slow speed when you're scooting down the lake, that you want something over your face. I've never really liked the clear, like when dudes wear like the paintball goggles, you know what I'm saying, like do your thing. And then I get same thing like late at night when you're coming back, whether it's from practice or just fishing at dusk, which is a great time to fish. Fish usually tend to wake up around. You can really get on them. It's dope to have some lenses that as you're shooting down the lake, not only can you see through them, but it's actually going to take whatever light is there, amplify it, like you said, and give you an even clearer picture through your lens. So it's safe, it's smart, made super well, polarized still, so it's still going to protect your eyeballs from the sun. Yeah, it's just clearly one of those things that was made by a fisherman or a hunter, like made specifically. Like it just makes so much sense. And then our last sponsor is Moldy Marine. We're so honored to be working with a good friend, a veteran, a selfless human being who will come to you, fix your boat, fix your fiberglass, detail, wet sand, buff, work on your transom, fix your trailer. Jeremy's one of those guys, very much like Nate. If you said, "Hey, my spaceship thing fell off," he'd be like, "All right, I'll be right there." Like doesn't maybe even know what that means, but he's gonna fix it, and you can rest assured that if he does, it's gonna be fixed well. Oldies Marine, that's MOLDY' Marine. If you check the little ticker on the bottom of the screen here on YouTube on the video, you'll see that. And yeah, man. So before we get into how to win part 2, Nate, how has your fishing been going lately? I shared last week the little blab on my cell phone about how my fishing was. Had one of the best days of my entire life on the water. What about you? How's it been?
I have not had that kind of day for sure. But
Okay.
I've had fun. I've had fun. It's been an enjoyable last kind of few weeks or month or whatever it's been that I've been fishing. So fished the last English Choice tournament. I was able to weigh in a limit. Didn't quite get the weight that we wanted. We needed to finish in like the top 15, and we were kind of like low 20s or something like that out of around 40 or so boats. So wasn't great, but always nice to get a limit against some of the best best
this is
sticks
like
around.
so this is Crawford and Canelo. I mean, you're the you're stepping up a couple of weight classes, and there's no diss to local little clubs at all, but choice, and that's some sticks.
Yeah, no, they're definitely some hammers. So that was fun. That was a fun season. Went pretty well. I think we finished like 20th or something like that out of like 45 teams or 46 teams, somewhere right around there. But yeah, for our first season, definitely something we felt pretty good about. But
if this was
wrap that up. What was that?
If this was the elites, you'd keep your spot.
We'd still be we'd be fishing next year for sure. Yeah, we'd
Yeah.
we'd requalify. So, uh, but yeah, so that's wrap that season up, and then basically just been kind of fun fishing, taking the kids out, and you
Like,
know, nephew, and that was fun. We ran to a couple new areas, kind of like you did. Tried some old school stuff or some tried new techniques on some new areas, and got in a gang of white bass. That was a lot of fun. My
did you
son and
eat?
my nephew. No, I put them in the box. We were gonna take them home, but then we had some other plans later that day after fishing. So um, ended up tossing them back. But we had caught some good ones, man. It was a lot of fun. Kids were, like I said, they were getting whooped out there. It just had rods bowed over, and it
That's
was
awesome.
yeah, it was fun.
That's
Taught my nephew how to fish a bait caster, so they're out there slinging bait
what?
casters.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yes, yeah, it was dope.
Oh,
But yeah, other than that, just been getting ready. I think my second to last tournament will be this weekend. Actually, it's the CTC Children's Therapy Center
hmm,
charity bass tournament. That's every year around this area. It's typically pretty big. Last year it was kind of small because they changed venues, and then it sounds like this year is kind of going to be about the same number of boats that it was last year. But um,
okay.
it's the venue changed, which a lot of anglers aren't stoked about, which is kind of
The venue
shameful because
or who's hosting it?
no, where the launch
Oh,
is at essentially is what's changed.
okay.
Um, but yeah, so what it does is it's put a lot of fishermen further away from the quality fish. So a lot of
Ah,
guys aren't really wanting to make those super long runs to go try to catch a winning bag essentially. But what it's allowed is huge parking lots, big open areas. Made like kind of the after party is really taking a step up. Like they had food trucks and events for kids and
whoa,
all kinds of really
that's
cool stuff.
cool. Yeah.
So yeah, so stoked to do that. My son, 7-year-old Addison, is going to be fishing his first tournament. So
What?
we're
That's
yeah, we're teamed up to fish it. He's going to be slinging his new bait caster and trying to catch some fish.
so
So
great.
we're
Heck yeah.
yeah.
So you say launch a bigger parking lot. You talking like 15 like down by the skate park in Davenport?
Yeah. So that the skate park's
I think
actually on
it's right.
16. Yeah, so the
It's-
launch is going to be up in Bettendorf. Yeah, the launch will be up in Bettendorf on pool 15, right underneath the 74 bridge. And then just up from that, just upriver is like the Big Isle casino area. So like they
Mhm.
they shuttle all the boats and trucks over there, all the trucks and trailers over there to park, and then they have a big like covered parking lot essentially, and it's gigantic. But then that's like where the after party's at, the weigh in, and all that stuff. So
Oh,
it's a cool event, man. It's a lot of fun. All the proceeds go to a great cause. So um,
that's great.
yeah,
I love that, dude. That's super dope. Yeah, that's rad, man. I really hope it would be so dope if you guys went out there and won.
yeah. So yeah, me and the boy, we're plan is to stick on 15. Run some of our old stuff, and we got a lot of history on that little body of water there. So I did a little.
I mean, you remember the video, right? The last video you and I filmed when I came down to fish with you.
Yeah,
And
last year.
you
Yeah,
got let you pick one to fish, and I said 15, and you're like, oh, this dude picked the worst pool to river, and we absolutely crushed him, like
yeah. We
crushed him. You caught
throttled it.
us on that Beast Coast jig. You had that one hook set where you pulled the fish over my head. I mean, we
Yeah,
absolutely went to work. Yeah, so hopefully the day turns out like that for you.
yeah. That'd be sick for sure. If we could get into them like that, we'll see though. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, before we get into how to win part two, and I know we're about a week out from this occurrence, and I'm not going to get on a soapbox. I'm really not going to, but I'm also completely unafraid if my viewpoints don't jive with somebody else's viewpoints. Like, and I'm not even on some like, if you don't agree with me, absolutely not. Like that's what America is so great for, or should be great for, is differing opinions, differing ideas. I mean, that's quite literally why I left the United Kingdom back in the day, was because we had different ideas about representation for taxation and government and all this stuff. And so we didn't kill people, we ghosted. Now a war did follow. Yes, I know, whatever. Anyway, I want to talk just real briefly about the whole Charlie Kirk thing. My heart is so broken for that whole shebang. My daughter was a pretty big fan of Charlie Kirk. That doesn't mean she agreed with everything he said, but I think more than anything, she really appreciated his boldness and how intelligent he was. And again, you don't have to agree with that. That's okay. I don't think the solution for disagreements is killing. And I know that sounds really obvious. Like that's so stupid. Like I shouldn't even have to effing say that. And like I'm actually okay. Like I'm actually okay with, I don't necessarily agree with it, but like I'm okay if somebody wants to be like, Charlie Kirk is a racist. You have every right as an American with freedom of speech to say that. Right, wrong, agree with me, disagree with me. You have every right to say that. But you don't, I mean, somebody killed him. Like somebody shot him. And what's been maybe the worst part, maybe even not as bad, obviously, as a father and a husband dying, maybe not as bad as that, but has been people like celebrating and cheering it on and like being like, yeah, he's gone. And like, dude, he's dead, man. He's dead. Like, I just think we as Americans need to step back, press pause, and like, I don't know, get realigned or something. Like when your car's pulling to the side, like you need to just give it a second, let it realign, because get it realigned, because that ain't it, man. No matter what, agree with Charlie Kirk, don't agree with Charlie Kirk. It doesn't have to be Charlie Kirk. It could be somebody who's more of like a Democrat than a Republican. It doesn't even have to be politics. Like when we're cheering that a father and a husband was murdered on video, that something's off, man. Something's off. And so I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I care about human beings. I know I'm a bit of a turd sometimes, and like our whole thing is positivity is worth the effort, and I truly believe that's actually a thing. But I have said before, I tend to be more like, it's easier for me to be negative about things. But in a moment of like inspection, it just seems like we need to let that shit go, dude. Like the negativity, the divide. Like I was talking to my wife about it. Like if that would have been, I'm trying to think of just somebody. There's not really a lot of people like Charlie Kirk going on to big public forum debating and whatever. But if there was a full blown Democratic, and I would consider myself a Republican, but I don't agree with everything Trump does at all, or the way he talks, or he's in England right now, and the pictures of him, he looks like an effing orange. Like the makeup on his face looks disgusting. I don't agree with that. But if somebody from like the Democratic side of things was sniped and murdered, I would be just as heartbroken. I promise you, I would be just as heartbroken, because that is not it. That's gross. That's honestly, it's as dumb as this sounds. It's immature. Like if somebody's having an argument, you don't just shoot. I don't know. I just feel sick about the whole thing. And yeah, I really hope that our country, if nothing else, can take this moment to press pause and realign some things and breathe. And some of the stuff I've seen where people are like, oh, can we stop with the thoughts and prayers? That's just rhetoric. It's not. I am praying for Charlie Kirk's family, for his wife and his two kids. I am praying for people who saw that, because you can't unsee it. I'm praying for kids like my kids who saw the video, like the close-up video of him getting hit with that bullet. That's pretty awful. That's some stuff that's going to rattle around their brains for a long time.
Yeah, no doubt.
And so I don't think positive thoughts and prayers are rhetoric. I think they're powerful. I think when we pray, and again, this is just my belief, when we pray, we put ourselves in the presence of God, and that changes things. Yeah, I'm sad, and I'm heartbroken, and I want to see America be better than this, because I love America. You won't hear me like, oh, I hate USA. No way, dude. I love America. And I think we should scream at it. I think we should be able to be like, your beliefs are garbage. Your beliefs are garbage. And we should be able to like somehow meet in the middle, because I believe the best thought is when I have this one and you have this one. Usually the best thought is that one that's somewhere between the two of them. And when we're so divided that we can't even have civil discourse and can't even have a debate without it turning into something like this, like that's we're a little lost. We're a little stumbling through the dark with our eyes closed. And so I'm just heartbroken about the whole thing. I'm praying for his family. I don't know, what have you thought about all this crap, Nate? And we don't have to go into this too long. I just want to say to people, like, dude, life is precious. Like all life is precious, whether it's somebody you agree with or not.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. The whole murdering over a disagreement is wild to me. And then the celebration fact is even worse. Like there's so much of what Charlie Kirk did and said that I don't agree with. There's lots of stuff that he did say that I do agree with, but for those people that thought he was an awful person or an awful guy or whatever, you're just as awful, or not, or if not more so, by celebrating his death. So why be so hypocritical? In this sense. So that was the biggest thing for me. Like, if you think he's a bad human and you're glad he's gone, it kind of makes you a bad human because of the way he was taken out. Like, it's just terrible.
Yeah, and I mean, I've seen the videos of like that one girl in Texas like dancing around like "F your homie dead," and I'm like, dude, like, my first instinct was like, dude, F you, but then I'm like, oh wait, I'm in the same place she is, and then my second instinct is like, what's her background, or like how was she raised, or where's her heart at that she can dance around and celebrate somebody dying? Does she not actually believe the words she's saying? Does she not feel the weight of it? Is she that calloused and cold that it doesn't affect? Like, it's crazy, I don't think I've ever talked about this on the podcast, but I've always been a pretty big fan of Amy Winehouse. I don't know if you know that singer from England. She's been dead quite a while, 10 years, maybe, no, probably longer than that, honestly. I thought she had a cool, like, vintagey soul, reminded me of like some old, like, Marvin Gaye stuff,
Sure.
And she had that one song, tried to make me go to rehab, and I said no, and then she overdosed, and people were posting online like, well, they tried to make her go to rehab, and I'm like, dude, she's dead. Like, that's not like, it's not like she got sick. It's not like Charlie Kirk got hit in the shoulder. Like, these people are dead. Like, they're gone. They're not coming back. How can you joke about that? I think a lot of us too, man, and I'll get off it on this, but I think a lot of us have like a vampire disease. Like, we look in the mirror and we don't see what's actually there. We see nothing, or we see something else. And like, I know in the depth of my heart, there's some poop that I'm not proud of. But man, to gloat, to be stoked over somebody dying, like the final, this is going to sound like a moron, like the final finality, like the end, like death, like not coming back. And you're out there like, yeah, dude, yuck. I mean, that's just, yeah. And I agree with you, Nate, what it's worth. I really like Charlie Kirk on some things. I didn't agree with him on all things at all. Some race stuff that he brought up, I didn't agree. Some of his positions on certain politics, I didn't agree, but that doesn't mean you have to hate him. What's his name? Rick Warren, the guy who wrote the book back in the day, A Purpose Driven Life, that got so humongous, 30 Days of Purpose and whatever else. I don't know if it was in that book or another book of his that I read, or said something to the effect, I'm going to totally ruin the quote, but it's something to the effect of, there's a lie being spread that we have to agree with someone on everything before we love them. And I'm like, dang it, that's it. You don't have to agree with somebody on everything at all, right? Like you and I didn't always line up on like who we voted for, what we believed in politics, and there's nothing in me that's like, yeah, I used to really like Nate, but then he told me who he's voting for, and now I don't. Like, that's stupid. You don't have to agree with everything somebody does. And if we're really like being like, positivity's worth the effort, we can look to the good things and not get so effing just magneted on the bad things. Like, let's say that, like, Charlie Kirk, you disagreed with 90% of what he said. Well, then why don't you focus on the 10% that you did agree with, or whatever the case is. But anyway, that's it. My heart's broken. I love America. I will always love America, no matter how things go. I'd like to see her do a little better than this. So let's talk fishing, Nate. Let's transition out of the sad stuff. Let's talk about some good stuff. Our how to win from all the homies. The first one is a home that I text with rather frequently. He's about the realest dude out there. Obviously, he's a super stick. There's not a person on this earth who doesn't think Gussy is an absolute stud. And so I just said to Gussy, the question that I said to everybody, give one piece of advice. He literally just texted me while I was saying that. Like, Gussy just texted me while I was saying that. Funny. Give me one brief piece of advice. How to win at fishing, how to be better at fishing, what would it be? And Gussy said back, probably to not get stuck into one thing, whether that's a pattern or an area. Keep as many things honest and practice to make sure you don't miss something easy. That's profound. That's really good. That's kind of like what I came up with, like the new spots, old style. Like keep things as simple and as honest in practice so you don't miss something easy. Those are always when I have the most regrets. When I find an area and camp out and find out later that I drove right past the better stuff, missed a shad spawn, etc. What do you think about that, Nate?
No, that's I mean, that's like it almost seems too simple. Like and I feel like that's how kind of a lot of things go. Is like the simple, easy things are really easy to overlook. Like because we get too into this or that water condition, water level, temperature, and just try to dial in on if the current's flowing, they have to be
Yeah,
right here or something like that. When in all actuality, it's never a set in stone thing. It's fish are going to do what they want to do.
Yeah, I really like what he said. The whole thing, like, oh, I found some good stuff, and you get all locked in. You drove right by the better stuff. That was another book. I don't think it was Ken Blanchard, but I know who it was. I can't think of it. But their author, his was like, very often good is the enemy of better, or good is the enemy of the best. Like, oh, it's good enough. But if you, dial, keep things honest, like Gussy said, in practice or just in general, you can find better stuff. I think that's really good. All right, the next one is from Moldy's Marine, Jeremy Moldrum. I like this seems like something from like a movie. This is like a quote. He said, "Control what you can control. Don't get bothered by the rest." Control what you can control. Don't get bothered by the rest. What do you think about that, Nate?
Again, another kind of straight to the point thing, and that's, I feel like a lot of people kind of get caught up in like what ifs, or like kind of over analyzing something, trying to think too far in advance, when just kind of like slowing down and just kind of letting things happen as they're going to happen, controlling what you can control, can put you on a better path for sure.
Yeah. And plus, it's sort of like we were just about, like the ickiness with Charlie Kirk and whatever. Like, if half the day is bad, but half the day is good, focus on the good. Focus on what you can control. Like, it's fun. I'm not a big like maybe I am. I was gonna say I'm not a big like spin out guy, but I can't get I can't get fun out sometimes. It's usually by that. It's not usually like if I miss a hook set, I'm like, dang it. But if my boat motor starts acting weird, or if I whatever, like something I can't control, that's what really drives me crazy. And then I just get stuck on it. I get so like focused in on that thing, versus like all these good things that I could control. It's like easy to say, don't get controlled by the things that you can't control. But it's hard to do. It's hard to do. And I think if you could do it, things would be better off for sure. Don't you think?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt at all. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The next one is one of my fishing heroes, Nate. I think one of your fishing heroes. I think anybody who watches this fella, listens to him, checks him out on YouTube's, to have a hard time saying he's not one of their fishing heroes. And that is Brian Latimer. B-Lat, just smart, articulate. He is super good merch game. I feel like he's one of those dudes. I don't know if everybody's here, but I feel like that's one of those dudes that if he endorses something, you can really sort of like trust it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking negative about anybody, but some dudes, it just feels like they've been doing this so long that they're really good at the sponsor thing. Where Brian Latimer, if he says it, it's like, oh, he must really, you know what I'm saying? He must really mean that. So I said to him the same thing, and he said back, "You'll hate my answer. Forget the tackle, prepare the boat." And then he wrote, I don't know if you can see this on video. Then he wrote, boat, 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 like separate text, all in caps. He wrote, "Forget the tackle, boat, boat, boat." And then he said, "Batteries, connections, emergency gear, tools, have things that can break but can be repaired easily with you. Check tire pressure, call test, weigh bags, props, anything that can be easily repaired, have it." And I said, "No, dude, I love that. I work at a marine place now. It's crazy how many people have wheels blow out, hubs seize up, dead batteries, all kinds of crap. Thanks, man." And then he said back, "Can't do shizzle without a boat that works." You can't do shizzle without a boat. But he's right. It's so easy. It's, I mean, and the fact that he touched on the trailers, that's the big one, dude. That's the big one. Just today, and then I'll get your input, Nate. Just today at work, I had a customer come in who asked us to do a estimate on their Mastercraft. So it's a ski boat, but their Mastercraft, trailer and it was bad. Like it was in pretty rough shape. Like the hubs were leaking all over. I think they had vault hubs. Their types were like weather checked and cracked like badly. Like me and my service manager were like, dude, we don't even want you guys taking that thing down the road. Like that thing's gonna blow out. Brake lines were bleeding all over. Like it needed work. And I mean, it was a couple grand worth of estimate. And they're like, do we really need to do this? And blah, blah, blah. And they were super cool. But I'm like, the trailer gets forgotten. Like that's a pretty common deal. Trailer stuff gets forgotten until you have a blowout on the road and you have fiberglass fenders, and then piece of the fiberglass fender goes through your boat and breaks everything and ruins your entire day, or until a wheel falls off, or until your brakes stop, or until your hubs light up like the Eye of Sauron on Lord of the Rings. So it got so hot. Then all of a sudden you want to pay attention to it. So I couldn't agree with Brian Latimer anymore.
No, yeah, it's golden, and to me the biggest thing is like peace of mind. Like when you get stuff dialed in to where you can just you don't have to worry about it. Of course, things happen, but you just don't have to worry about it or think about it. It just frees your mind, lets you fish more free, and you know if you're fishing free, you're making better decisions, and you're just kind of going with the flow. Like you're not worried about oh well, can I make this run, or can if I do make the run and we do break down, how are we getting back, or do I just stay around here? And you lots of variables that kind of go out the window because you've taken care of your equipment and you can trust it.
Really? Yep, exactly. Yeah, and like I like how he said he's plural props. So like whether that's a prop for your boat, one for your trolling motor, because that'll wreck your day quick. Come up shallow to grab a bait that's lodged in a laydown or whatever, and you snap off a piece of your trolling motor, and all of a sudden your trolling motor's shaking super bad. The prop's out of balance, and a prop you could have gotten at the local shop for $30, $50, whatever, just to have in the back of the boat. But you want like boat. BLAT is spot on, and I mean, there's nothing even to fish for if your boat breaks down. If your trailer breaks down, you never even make it to the lake. So Brian Latimer, city boat, but if you can eliminate some of that by being prepared, I totally agree with you, man. All right, so the next is a homie of the show, a homie of myself, of Nate, of Lola, and that is of course C-Pip, Chad Pipkins. I mean, I'm talking about sad that he's not on the elites anymore, that he got like relegated or whatever you call that by his average finish, because that dude is just one of the coolest human beings on earth. He can obviously fish. He's won open before. And if you remember, Nate, from like way back when we first had, our first big guest, Brandon Palaniuk on, and we said, if you could fish with anybody, if BSS tomorrow turned into a 2-man league, who would you pick? And like that, he said Chad Pipkin. Remember that?
I do. Yeah.
Like right away, Brandon Palaniuk was like, I'd take Chad Pippins. And he said it's all attitude. It's all in between his ears. He's positive, he's kind, he's friendly, and that's spot on. So I asked him the same question. C-Pips, control the things you can control. Sharp hooks, good lines, strong knots, etc. There are so many variables in fishing and fish that get off when we do everything right. You just really want to make sure that none of it was something that we can control or our fault. Now I know that's accurate. Like if you have a big one come off, you want to know, man, I did everything I could. I did everything I could. It just happens sometimes, but it wasn't because it was a bad night. It wasn't because it was frayed line that I should have changed out. It wasn't because I had a rusty old hook that I had on since 1997, and I was like, oh, that's good enough. Like, you want to control what you can't control. And I said, thank you, perfect. Yeah, but and this was during the elite season. He said, yeah, buddy, now I need to go get my shit together. What a cool dude, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I texted him the other day, and I said, hey, man, this was after the Packers game. So the Packers, we haven't even talked about this yet, Nate. How good are the Green Bay Packers right now? Are they the best team in football? Are they the best team in football?
Like it. They're playing like it. Big dogs out there.
I'm talking about offense and defense. Our special teams is still horse crap, even though we have the highest paid special teams coach in the NFL, and Rich Bisaccia. Yeah. We can't kick off or punt without a holding penalty. Can't do it. But the offense and defense is so good, we've been holding it down. And we beat the brakes off of the Lions, who we haven't been able to beat in so long. Chad Pipkins is a big Lions fan. So I texted him and I said, hey, man, are you good? Are we able to talk yet? about the game. And he goes, oh, yeah, we can talk. I'm just getting ready for this next derby or whatever. And he thought I was talking about because he got relegated off the elites. Like, no, I'm talking about the Lions. He's like, oh, gosh, we were ugly or something like that. He thought I was getting all serious about like his career path and whatever. I'm like, no. I'm talking football, homie. But man, they look good. Micah Parsons is scary. Micah Parsons is a grown ass man.
Yeah.
Grown.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, even when even when he's not getting sacks, he's impacting the whole line. Like, it's just wild. If Rashawn Gary's not making a play, or Wyatt, he's causing a false start. Like, it's fun to watch.
That was so fun, dude. Like when it was totally like inconsequential, essentially. But when he chased down Jared Goff, like a lion pursuing a gazelle with like a broken leg or something. I mean, he came up behind out. When he came through that line, it was like, oh, geez. Like, I thought he was about to rip the ball out. I thought he was about to break his neck. I thought he was about to put him in the hospital. He caught up to him. And granted, Jared Goff isn't Usain Bolt, but like, he caught up to him so fast and like just hunted him down. Oh my gosh. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you think about that, though? What do you think about the Pipkins control what you can, hooks, line, knots? What do you think about all that?
Yeah, no, that's it. That's the way everybody who's into tournament fishing, or even just fishing in general, go out, make sure your stuff is set, ready to go, and you'll have less failures, essentially, is what it's going to come down to. Exactly. The less time you're dealing with backlashes because you have old line, or line breaking, or whatever you ain't greased your reels in forever, and now they're squeaking and driving you crazy, or not casting as far. It's just little things, little details. Take the time, get it right, and it's gonna make your day better, no doubt.
The day better. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly. And it is. It's just more fun. And especially like you said, if you lose a fish, you lose a fish. But it gets worse if you lose a good fish, and it's your own fault. You tied a bad knot, or because, like you said, like your lines. If you make a cast, let's say you're throwing fluorocarbon, and you make a cast with your fluoro, and it looks like a like a loop-de-loop, like it looks like a really tight looking piece of pasta, or like some curly hair, like your boy got right now, or roller coaster. It's time to change. It's time to change it out. And I have that stuff. I can't remember what it's called. Real Magic that you can spray in there. That helps a little bit. It does. It doesn't like if you're on the water and you're in the middle of a derb, or you're fun fishing and you're on them, dude, throw some Real Magic on there. It really will soften out that line and kind of get it. And we're not sponsored by Real Magic, obviously. It's just a little. It looks like a kind of like a size of like a WD-40 can. I had a guy today at work tell me that on his engine it was squeaking, so he put some DW-40 on it, and I was like, "What'd you say?" DW. He's like, "Put some what do you call some DW-40?" And I'm not the dude, so I didn't correct him. My body was like, I wanted to be like WD-40, not DW-40. I also had I don't think I've said this on here. I had a lady the other day that I was talking to. She, I think next month she turns 174, and she is the sweetest old woman. And every time she calls, so we've had her boat wrapped up, like shrink wrapped for winter, for like 3 winters. She keeps on saying she's going to pick it up, and we know she's not, because she's like a million years old. And sadly, her husband a couple years ago, and so now it's like she's just now it's like she's essentially just looking for somebody to talk to. And so she'll tell me about her deck that her son is building, and I don't know why, whatever. But I was trying to explain to her the shrink wrap on the outside of the boat for winterizing, and she's telling me, "Oh no, I have a cover. I bought it at the farm in the fleet." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you just a fleet." Like, that is so freaking cute. And I'm not talking about a cover, I'm talking about shrink wrap. She's like, no, it's the best one they had at the farm in the fleet. I'm like, I believe you that you bought at the farm in the fleet, but anyway. But yeah, Pipkins, spot on, buddy. We love you. We hope you make your way back to the elites if that's what you're really trying to do. I know you don't need it. I know you got a successful painting business and you're about the most positive human being on earth, so you're gonna be fine. But if that's what you want, I hope it works out, dude. Andrew Full. another fella from the Serious Angler Network and host of the super entertaining short episode, The Lure Lab. If you've not heard of or watched or listened to The Lure Lab, it's really good. They get into super like high level ticky tack specific ticky tack. I don't know what you're talking about. Specifics on like lures, colors, techniques, whatever. The Lure Lab, Serious Angler Network. Check it out. He said something real simple. He said, "Don't overthink it. Keep it simple and fish your confidence." Nate, do you ever throw stuff in fishing, whether it's fun or whatever else, stuff that you're not confident in as you're fishing it? You're like, what am I doing?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Why do we do that?
Just tonight, as a matter of fact. Just tonight.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I was
one that you weren't confident in.
Yeah. So I was pre-fishing for that charity tournament. I was out for a few hours, but rolled up on this island point, and there was like some fish busting, and I assumed they were white bass, but I wasn't really sure. So I threw a couple things at them, and I kept getting some short strikes, and then they, were still hitting on top. So I had a fluke tied on for some reason in the box, and I grabbed that, and I just started like twitching it out there, and soft jerk bait, and I don't know what I was doing or why I was doing it, but I didn't catch one. I didn't catch one on it, and I ended up I think I had a jig head minnow tied on, and I ran that across kind of the top of the water and just started smoking them, and they were some decent white bass. So yeah.
Yeah. We were talking about this earlier, and I didn't ask you, but I meant to. I know you're old like I am. Well, you're not as old as I am, but you're not 20. I feel like this is an old guy thing, right? Like I've talked about it on the show before. My grandpa, when we would go to Hayward, he would treat launching the boat like, hitting the shores of Normandy. Like it was like this awful, awful thing and all this preparation. And I'm not making light of the Normandy, not even a little bit. I'm just saying like he would treat it like it was this terrible, like, oh, launch the boat. Like I'm like, Grandpa, when we going fishing? Oh, we got to launch the boat. And like it was just this really big deal to him, and I was so annoyed. And I'm like, so what? Go freaking launch it, dude. Anyway, as a dude now, as an old man, I love catching bluegies or white bass or perch or whatever. But as I'm catching them and putting them in the box, I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, this is gonna take forever to fillet. This is gonna take so long. Do you think that?
Yeah. Like I said, last weekend when I had my son and my nephew out, and we were just slaying them, and we had some good ones in the box too, and I'm like, I don't think I have time, because this is going to take a while to knock the sides off.
Yeah, hours. Hours.
I don't think I have the time to do this, because we had like a another father-son deal planned out, and then it was our 11th year wedding anniversary, so we had a lot going on. So like, yeah, appreciate it. Yeah. So
heck yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, we're just gonna toss these guys back, because it's gonna take way too long.
Yeah, and maybe it's not hours, but in my head it is. In my head it's hours and hours. And like if I do with the carcasses, because it's hot out, if I don't get rid of them, they're going to get maggots. They're going to smell to high heaven. It's going to bring in raccoons. Raccoons are going to bring in the bears. The bears are going to attack by herds of wild buffaloes, and then it's all falling apart. Yeah, worst case scenario. But I do really like that, because I have that time fishing. I'll tell you the last time I fished something, and I'm confident with it now, but I wasn't at first, is a free rig. The first few times the free rig, I talk to myself out loud sometimes when I'm fishing. I don't care if that makes me crazy, but I do. And I remember saying out loud, "Am I doing this right? This feels stupid. This is stupid. This is like just feeling so dumb, because I'm like, this is not. I don't think it's sinking the way it's supposed to. But can you skip this? How do I do I? And I just told. And I don't think I caught anything the first couple of times I used it. And then I caught a couple fish on it, like the third or fourth time I tried it. And then it was like, oh, that's how you let it just kind of fall down when you get it near cover or lay down a dock or whatever, and let that lure just kind of come down the line like a freeze fall. And I don't know. And now I'm confident with it. And maybe I could have caught the beginning when I first started throwing it, but I was so not confident that I feel like when you're really not confident with a bait or a technique, you're just not going to catch fish unless you're just in like a stock pond. Like the way that you feel about it translates to how you fish it.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's exactly like that. If you're not confident in it, you're working it too slow, you're working it too fast. You're not, you give up on it way too quick, most of the time. But
That's for
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, the fluke didn't go tonight. They weren't eating that, and I probably won't pull it out of the box come tournament time.
I mean, depending on the league you're in, because some have outlawed it. But the donkey rig, which is 2 flukes,
Two
oh
flukes,
my,
yeah.
it's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorites, dude. They're really thick weeds. Like I'll keep the hook. Like if I'm using a Y gap, usually like a 3/0 or something. I'll keep the hook like in the meat of the thing, not
Mhm.
text post at the top. I'll keep it kind of inside of it, and you can pull it through anything. When you give it that little pop, because you leave the one line longer on the donkey rig, which is just 2 flukes together. When you give it a pop, the first one reacts, and then you kind of like slackline the second one. So then they swim at different times. Oh my gosh, they look so good. Zoom fluke. That's it. Anyway, all right, next one. The world famous, the man who's never met somebody he wasn't a friend with, which is John Cox. Just the friendliest. Like his episode we did with him and his homie Keith Carson is one of my favorites. Like that was just fun. Like that was just such a good time, dude. He said, I'm a fresh line and fresh hooks kind of guy. There you go. I mean, we basically just talked about that with Pipkins. Like you don't want to have something happen and then realize it was your fault. I think it's easier. I think it's easier to be a fresh line guy when you're John Cox and you get as much line as you want. Because dude, line's expensive, dude. Line's really expensive.
Crazy.
Like I feel like fluorocarbon is by far the most expensive of all the lines. Like braid is expensive, mono is not really that expensive, but fluorocarbon, it's just. And can we just, all right, unpopular opinion, Nate, is it possible that Sunline is laughing at all of us?
I'm gonna say it is possible, yes, but
come out with a new fluorocarbon every 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And a different. This fluorocarbon's for flipping. This fluorocarbon's for pitching. This fluorocarbon's for skipping. This fluorocarbon likes porridge just medium, and this one likes its porridge hot. And this fluorocarbon's black so that you can throw it under a dock. And this fluorocarbon's finesse. And this is leader specific fluorocarbon. And this one's get the F out of here. Come on, dude. Come on.
You know what the problem with it is, though?
Like, come on, dude.
Here's the problem with that and the whole Sunline deal is us as fishermen have used it, whatever it may have been, whichever shooter, sniper, assassin, we've used it.
Yeah.
We've loved it. And now we're confident in it. And now it really doesn't matter what they're going to come out with.
Oh.
We're going to give it a try because we're all born on what we've gotten confident in is what we're going to use, and no reason to stray, because if you trust your line, you don't really have to worry about your knot breaking, or at least you're not worried about it. It's not something that's in the back of your mind, rattling around. I've tried fluoros here actually this season. Actually, I've tried a couple different fluoros, and one didn't last a whole trip. She was gone.
Dang.
back to Sunline. Yeah, so it's
so they might be laughing at us, but you don't really care.
Yeah, they can just keep coming out with them. I'll buy a new one.
Let me tell you a story that's similar to what you just said. Drug dealers will give you the first couple hits free. They get you hooked.
Wrong. Yes, sir.
And then they start. So Sunline,
you gonna come back. You're gonna buy it.
Sunline's like, oh man, the shooter over here is so good, man. What you doing, man? Just come over here and get you some of the shooter, man. And I'm
you're running low.
On it. You want it, baby. And I'm like, all right, you're right. Here's my. I'm just, I will say though, I've talked about it before, but it ain't no cheaper. It might be even more expensive. But the Shimano Mastiff is really dope. Shimano Mastiff Fluoro. I don't know if you tried that yet. It's really good. I've got it on, I think, 5 reels, maybe 6 reels. It's really expensive, but it is so soft. They say supple, but every time I say that word, I feel like I'm just not a very manly man. But it's just soft. It's really smooth to the touch. Like when you're casting it, it just feels different on your thumb. Knots just down so nice. I really, really like that Shimano Mastiff. I don't know if I'd say it's better than Shooter. I don't even know how I would go about saying that. But Shooter's my favorite Sunline. I remember one time I intentionally, I don't think I ever even told anybody this. I intentionally a bunch of years ago put Shooter, Assassin, and what's the other one? Sniper. Why is Sunline so, why are they so violent? What the F?
Yeah.
The new Sunline Murderer, the new Sunline Choker, the new Sunline Asphyxiator. Anyway, I put Shooter, Assassin, and Sniper on reels and didn't like intentionally tried to mix them up in my head like the cup game, so I didn't know which was which to see which I ended up liking the best. And I can't remember how I kept it. Like I don't know if I don't know. I did something to mix them up, but then had like some kind of system where I could figure out later on. I don't remember how I did it. And unfortunately, Shooter was by far my favorite, which is of course the most expensive. But it really worked great. I still have Shooter on one reel from like, I'll bet it's 6 years old, and it's not that line memory-ish at all, which is crazy for fluorocarbon and like a heavy like 17 or 19 or 20 or something. And it's not line memory. It still just casts so buttery, dude. And again, it ties down nice. But yeah, I agree with John Cox. He said, I'm a fresh line guy. And then the funny thing was, the next text, I don't know if you're able to see it on video. The next text, I'm a fresh line guy. I'm out in the middle of Lake Ontario.
Yeah.
Cool. And I was like, right on. And then I think he actually sent me a picture, and he was. It looked like he was in the middle of
the. I thought you showed me a picture of him out there or whatever.
Hey, give me some advice. I'm in the middle of Lake Ontario. Okay, right on, man. Thanks, John. Which is weird for him too. It's weird for John because he's not in the middle of Lake Ontario, but dude. We got a couple more, just two more, and then we'll get out of here. I really do hope some of these pieces of advice are helpful to people. Again, and I really mean this. I know I've said it like 50 times, but not just for tournament fishing. Because really all tournament fishing is like a dialed up version of regular fishing, where the stakes are a little higher, where you're trying to actually compete. But the truth of fun fishing is the same truth of tournament fishing. Good knots, good line, being prepared, not taking it too serious, trying new spots, whatever, keeping it simple, controlling what you can, all that stuff. I mean, that plays on, that plays on tournament day, just like it would if you're taking your grandkids out. You know what I mean? So hopefully this is helpful to anybody who's listening. So, all right, the last two. The first one we'll go with is Justin Hamner. Not this year, but last year's Bassmaster Classic winner. Had him on the podcast. He talked about making fishing lures with vibrators in them. And myself, a little tiny vibrator. And there's Southern, we got to get some lures with some tiny vibrators in them. Myself and Nate and Lola and Justin, there was like, if you were just listening to that episode of the podcast, there was, I don't know, 40 seconds of nothing because we were all like crying, laughing because we were laughing so hard. We just kind of lost it after he said it. And it actually sort of made sense, but it was so like weird when he said it. Anyway, yeah. Justin Hamner, coolest dude. He said, I think I'm too late because I asked him like forever. Justin's an interesting dude. You can text back and forth with him for like a day and then, yeah, man, so when's your next tournament? And then he'll text you like 6 weeks later. So he said, I think I'm too late. But I'd say never go into a day of fishing close-minded, thinking that you know exactly how to catch them and you're not willing to change if needed. I mean, that's a good of advice for hunting, fishing, anything outside as I can even imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. I don't know how many days on the water, or especially like, a lot of guys will say like their worst tournaments have been their best practices, and that's kind of like the deal, like where you just get so dialed in on practice when you're this is how I'm going to catch them, this is what I'm going to do. You pull up, they're not there, they're not biting what they were biting before, and you just try to keep force feeding them and just trying to when you just change, adapt and get it figured out and roll with it.
Yeah, was it Mike Tyson that said that? Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Wasn't that Mike Tyson?
I think so, yeah.
And speaking of which, Terrence Crawford beating Canelo Alvarez. I don't know if anybody watched that fight.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy. That's 2 weight classes, not one, but 2 weight classes up. And really, like, the way they scored it, it was unanimous, but like I think I could have gone even heavier on the score. That dude just essentially toyed with him.
He put it on him.
I mean, I felt like he could have gone harder because when he did him in tight, I mean, gosh, his jab was so crisp. I mean, I feel like I would have taken one of those and be like, all right, I quit. I mean, everything about it was just so snappy, had so much pop. Moving up 2 weight classes, that's wow. I mean, and people were doubting him. A lot of people didn't think he could do it. A lot of people didn't, and nobody doubts Terrence Crawford as a boxer, but doubting that he can move up 2 whole classes. I mean, gosh, that was impressive. Anyway, but Mike Tyson's right. Right? I didn't think I'd ever say that on this podcast. But Mike Tyson is right. You can have a plan all day long until things go sideways. And then, like Justin said, close-minded. I think that's a good phrase. Don't be too close-minded. Whether it's negative, like, oh, that spot didn't work out, I'm freaking out, I quit, this sucks. Don't be so close-minded, or so close, like you said, Nate, and you're so locked into plan A that you don't even consider plan B. I mean, think about the one person I always think of when I kind of have my brain go down that path is, was it his second classic that he won, where his motor gave out on him and he fished, whatever it was, a quarter of a mile from the launch, because that was all he could get to with his trolling motor, and then ended up being the best spot he fished, and he won the Bassmaster Classic. I mean,
yeah, came back from like 10th or 12th or something, to win it. Yeah, wild.
Yeah, on plan B, and then really, like in that case, your outboard stops working at the Classic. That's like plan like C, D, E, and F. I mean, that's. But he was flexible enough. He wasn't locked in. He wasn't closed-minded. I think that's great advice from Justin. And obviously, Justin is a dude who can speak to it because he won the Bassmaster Classic. And then the next year, he just about daggum won Angler of the Year. So the dude is pretty good at adapting, pretty good at rolling with the punches. Wouldn't you say, Nate?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt at all.
Yeah. All right. So the last one we'll end on the Lake Okeechobee Bass Elite Tournament champion. Can I go on a quick little rant, Nate? Just a real brief one. I promise, a short one.
Yeah, 37 seconds. Go.
All right, I got you. A couple years ago, I saw one of the new Jurassic Park movies, Chris Pratt, and the girl in it, like that red-haired girl from the movie The Village, which is a pretty underrated movie, by the way. She was like, Verizon Wireless presents the Indominus Rex, or something to that effect. And he's like, oh my gosh, that sounds so stupid. Every Bassmaster Elite Series tournament is like, I don't know what. Loophole presents the Bass Pro Shops, Nike, Under Armour, PSD underwear, Rebel Popper, Cricket Printer, Fake Brick Wall, Elite Series at Lacrosse. Like, you can't even, when I'm taking a number 2 ski and I'm reading the Bassmaster magazines, it's this long. It's like 15 words just to get through the effing title of the tournament that Brandon Palaniuk won. I'm like, dude, it's too much. You can call it that all you want, but when you reference it, just say when Brandon Palaniuk won on Okeechobee. Like, don't give me all this other, gosh, it's crazy. It's like a joke, dude. It's like Verizon Wireless presents Indominus Rex. Anyway, all right, I'm done. Sorry.
That's hilarious because it is like a NASCAR read off every time.
Yeah, every time it's like the super look. It's not even just like the Under Armour stop at Lake Okeechobee. It's like Under Armour presented by Whisker Biscuit, in affiliation with Loophole and Rode Microphones. I'm like, geez. Yeah, presented by. I'm like, my gosh, dude. Y'all are scraping all the food off the plate, getting every dime you can get. But anyway, Brandon Palaniuk, which I will say, that was one of the coolest tournaments I've seen in a long time, when he won on Okeechobee, and him and Greg DePalma and Timothy Dubé or however his last name, and Will Davis were all like exchanging baits and talking the entire time because they were on a really small little pocket. That was one of the coolest tournaments I'd seen. And like, Brandon Palaniuk is winning, and he's giving this prototype mega bass bait that you can't buy in stores. He's giving them to his competitors. You remember that?
I do. Yeah, that was absolutely wild. Such a cool, like you said, such a cool event, such a cool moment. Like, I'm just throttling them to the point where I can give you the same bait that I'm catching, 3/4 of my fish on,
Your competitors, and they were all they were top 10. All 4 of them were top 10 the first day. And he's giving, and I mean, the brand something stupid. something gaudy, 34.5, like some nonsense number. I mean, 34. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, come on. Like that day I had up in Hayward, it was like I was like laughing, you know, because at 21 pounds. Take that and add another like 13, 14 pounds. I mean, gosh, like he just put a hurt on him, ain't even like a good enough phrase. But I asked Brandon, you know, same question: how can we win at fishing more? He said, and this is Brandon. You know, he's kind of like Yoda or something of fishing. Like he's just really smart, really intelligent, very analytical. And he said, yeah, it was a prodigy. Exactly right. Prepare today for tomorrow's success. I thought that was a really good way of summing it up. Prepare today for tomorrow's success. Take care of any boat maintenance, tackle organizing, fresh line, etc. This frees your mind so that when things change, because they almost are always guaranteed to change, you'll be able to adjust and have the cognitive freedom to do so. That boy's smart.
That is an intelligent point, no doubt.
Yeah, let me say that again, because it's almost like you almost have to take that in chunks, but it's so he's because the reason I chose to use this one last was because it kind of summarizes a lot of the moving parts of some of the other ones that we got from other people and puts it into one thing. Prepare today for tomorrow's success. Take care of any boat maintenance, tackle organizing, fresh line, etc. This frees your mind so that when things change, because they are almost guaranteed to change, you'll be able to adjust and have the cognitive freedom to do so. Boom.
Yeah, that's I love it. It makes me think of it's kind of wild that it's making me think of this, but like painting automobiles or car parts. You know, you paint a car or you paint car parts, and you know you want the job to turn out great. But any good painter or you know anybody who does you know body work or whatever, they will tell you time and time again that the quality job comes in the preparation. The better you prepare your piece that you're gonna work on or paint or whatever you're doing, the better the end result will be.
Sure, that makes sense.
So it's to me, you know it reminds me so much of that. Like the more I have all of my tackle and boat and everything dialed in, the more opportunity I'll have to be successful because I have that much more freedom, that much more time, you know, to you know go out and catch them and not worry about all the other you know garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the phrase that he sort of, I've never heard those two words together before, cognitive freedom. Cause he's right. When you control what you can, not only does that give you the ability to control what you can, but it also makes you so less stressed out. So when the poop does hit the fan, you're like, okay, I'll just do this. Because you're not caught up in all other things plus the change. You can just focus on the change. You can just focus on, all right, hold on. I know my boat's running great. I know I got sharp hooks. I know I got good line. I know I got just a boatload of new lures in the boat. I know I got gas. I know my batteries are charged. I know, you know, all that stuff that you need. I'll put the pieces together. I've caught them so far on this, and it just allows you to have that laser, like horse blinders, like that laser focus, where you don't have to worry about A, B, C, and D. You can just worry about the change, the C, the you know whatever. And I think that's cognitive freedom. I think Brandon Palaniuk is spot on. So Prodigy, BP, thank you, brother. Appreciate that little bit of advice because it's really good. Not only is it accurate, but like I said, it sort of sums up a lot of what a lot of the other guys have said. When you control what you can, then all of a sudden you can focus on that thing to control, not all the other that's going on. And again, I know, I'm sorry, I've said it 3 million times. I can stop saying it. It's true fun fishing too. Even if it's not a tournament, nobody wants to go out and not have the right hooks in their boat. Nobody wants to go out and have bad line or have a battery that's dying or whatever. Nobody wants that. So when you control that stuff before you get to the water, it's just more fun. You can be more free. You go fishing with the kiddos and have worms, or you have ice in the box, or if you go fishing with Vinny because he's more concerned with snacks than he is with fishing, you got a whole bunch of fruit roll-ups with you or whatever. You know, control what you can, man, and it makes it just you know you win. You win more that way. Nate, what do you think about the second microphone here? Let's pull it into. Got a purple one.
Yeah, cool. I'd rock them side by side.
You got How's that look? Get the focus off me.
Good. You've got
There.
You've got this like, I don't know, weird color thing going on with the red hat and the blue microphone and the purple microphone.
And then I got the blue thing over here, and then this blue like little plaque thing and whatever. Dude, I was literally with the nail gun just hanging stuff up behind me for like 5 minutes before we started. Podcasting is really fun, but you got to get in the rhythm. Like anything else, dude, you got to get in the groove and go. Because when you get off schedule, whether it's filming or recording audio or whatever, like I was just talking to shout out Easton Fothergill. I'm really excited to have him on the podcast. He agreed to jump on. I was just texting with him the other day, and I almost forgot like my little spiel. Like I usually have like, a little spiel with how I start conversations. Hey, we'd love to have you on the show. Here's the past episode if you want to check it out, whatever. And I started texting him, and it's been so long. I was like, me fish, fuck you, come on, talk. I mean, I didn't actually do that. Like, I was just so out of the flow of like normal talking to dudes, you know. But anyway, Nate, you got anything else? Anything else you want to throw in on how to win, or you want to get here?
No, I'm gonna take all that advice and try to apply it to our little body of water down here on the Mississippi River and see if me and the boy can luck into a few, you know. So that's all I got.
Be sure to tell Addison, hey son, today is all about cognitive freedom.
He'll be ready for it for sure.
how he lives his life. He's 7 years old. Every day he goes, Dad, we got to focus in. We got to lock in cognitive freedom. Team cognitive freedom. 1, 2, 3, cognitive freedom. You know, that's how Addison lived. I've always respected that about him. Anyway, that's it, man. Thank you guys for listening to our little goofy podcast. Check us out at tacklingtacos.com. If you would be willing, it'd really mean a lot to us, whatever platform you're on, to give us a 5-star rating and give a positive review. That really actually helps kind of further the show, helps us reach more people, draw new listeners, whatever. And Nate, hit him with a tagline. Let's roll.
That's it. Positivity is worth the effort. Peace.
Appreciate you.